Welcome back to Rough No Racing. Today we have a bone to pick with ChatGPT. The other day, I used ChatGPT for various things like everybody else. It's good for YouTube. You can screenshot your stats and put it in ChatGPT, the screenshots, and it'll give you, it knows numbers, right? So anyway, I heard a rumor that ChatGPT is supposed to agree with everything that you say. So I asked ChatGPT if I could start a YouTube channel and grow it successfully watching grass grow and paint dry. Told me it was a great idea. I'll put the screenshot here so you can see exactly what I said with ChatGPT. The very next thing I asked it is if I could build a Mustang in my garage that goes sub 7 minutes on the Nürburgring. It gave me a reality check. That was the first thing it did with the stop sign. I had a 20-minute conversation. I got pretty heated with ChatGPT because it told me I couldn't build a car in my garage. That's a Mustang that goes sub 7s in the Nürburgring. Now, obviously, Ford's done it with the GTD. The point of all my builds, right, is to model it after certain Mustangs or just make a race car that I spend less on than, say, like a GT350 or the GT500s or the GTD, and it performs just as well, if not better, for a lot less, right? I know what I want. I want a dedicated race car. A lot of these cars are trying to be both an everyday car and a race car. They want AC and a radio. People want to step in, nice leather seats, nice interior. That's not what I'm looking for. I either want a race car or I want a daily driver. I don't want both for the same car, all right? Sometimes you can't have your cake and eat it too. I know the difference, right? So when I build a race car, I build zero creature comforts into my car. This car probably has radio and AC, probably has a little button you can press to make it quiet or loud, probably has another button to raise the ride height or lower it. See, they're confused about what they're doing at that point. So I had this discussion with ChatGPT and I really started to think about it. So the Mustang GTD does 6 minutes and 52 seconds in the Nürburgring. So I went on Nürburgring's website here, and it gives you a list of cars and their times. But another interesting feature, right? Like one of the goals for my car is to be just as good, if not better, than a Porsche 911, especially the GT2s and the GT3s on a track. So I can click their car, and now it has all kind of stats on the car, and these are recordable stats that you can do yourself. You can find out your own 0 to 100 mile an hour time, and you can find out at what, how many feet you're doing it if you go to the drag strip. You run a quarter mile, they're going to give you an 800 feet time with the time you reached 800 feet and your mile per hour when you went past it, along with the eighth mile, 1,000 feet, and the quarter mile. The downforce stats here. This is 313 pounds at 200 kilometers an hour. We know 100 kilometers an hour is 62 miles an hour, so that's 124 miles an hour, and it has 313 pounds of downforce. 250 kilometers per hour, it has almost 500 pounds at 489. And then at 300 kilometers an hour, really moving, 709 pounds of downforce. Another thing I like to look at is the braking distance. This is another thing that's very easily measured. 50 kilometers per hour to 0 in 25 feet. 100 kilometers per hour, again 62 miles an hour in 96 feet. These are things I can easily test on my car to see where I'm at. And another good feature is it gives you this same car's track times at other tracks. The Top Gear track, it ran a 1:13. I know from watching the show that's a very quick time. Le Mans, it says, I guess there's a Bugatti version of that track. It ran a 1:44. Laguna Seca, 128.3. Let's see if it has Willow Springs on the list. Willow Springs, 121.08. These are places I can go bring my car, and I can see how my car stacks up. So I can make a car that I feel like could run a sub 7 minute time just based on looking at these cars' times and then how these cars stack up to my car. Yeah, things like downforce I might not ever be able to test, right? You buy a kit and you're pretty much taking somebody's word. I'm never going to take my car to a wind tunnel. But you can get a pretty good idea of the braking distance, rolling acceleration. I know all my acceleration times the second I go to a drag strip. I'll know what type of horsepower I make because I'm going to dyno my car. And then I'll know what type of times it runs on some of these other tracks. You know, I'm not saying I want to go to, we'll say Willow Springs and run exactly a 121, right? But if I run a 123 in my car that costs $40,000, I'm pretty happy because whoever bought this car, first of all, they're probably not going to Willow Springs. And if they are, they're probably not running a 121 themselves. And even if they do, this also tells us how much they paid for their car. 285,220 euros, all the way up to 316,672 euros. Let's Google those numbers. On the low end, they're spending $330,000 on one of these cars. I can build a car for less than $100,000 that eats that thing up. I know for a fact. And I know for a fact I can build a car in my garage if I had that kind of budget that runs a sub 7-minute Nürburgring time. For sure. You can hook up a Mustang, you can get the V6 Cyclone, you probably weigh 150 pounds less than somebody running the V8. For 100 grand, I can find somewhere in my budget to make 600 or 700 horsepower to the V6. I can also buy a sequential transmission with a transaxle so I can have the transmission in the rear of the car. For 100 grand, I can probably get a tubular chassis for the entire car, front and back. You know, I could probably build a car that weighs 2,500 pounds with me in it, has 700 horsepower, and I can beat all these Porsche numbers. I know for sure. Now, am I going to need a little bit of help? You know, yeah, I'm going to export some of the work. But even if I wasn't, even if I want to do it 100% myself in my garage, I'm confident that I can add a stroker kit to a V6 Mustang and get the displacement up. I'm also confident I can put turbo or supercharger on it myself. And I'm very confident that if I'm spending that kind of money, I can go to Cortex's website and get the double A-arm SLA front suspension, along with everything I want in my Steeda cart here. The KW V3 adjustable coilovers, all the braces, all the adjustable sway bars, the adjustable sway bar end links. You know, I mean, for that kind of money, you could hand build a GT40 in your garage, you would think. ChatGPT doesn't know what it's talking about, and once I do it, it'll never talk bad about me again. Thanks for watching my rant. I appreciate your time. I'll see you next time. If you like the video, please like and subscribe and leave a comment. It helps the channel. If you're interested in seeing this video or others like it, please click on the channel. Or if you want to watch me build a 2011 Mustang headed for the junkyard into a full-blown track car, check that out too. See ya.